Hey Redwood Witches, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, welcome. This is my happy little corner of the world where I talk about witchy things and eventually I'll start talking about nerdy things. Speaking of which, Baby Yoda in the Mandalorian series is literally the cutest thing in the world. He makes Baby Groot not look cute, which I didn't think was possible. Also, my dog Frodo looks like Chewbacca. I'm a little bit of a Star Wars nerd, just like a little bit though. Not nearly as much as Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings happens to be my favorite trilogy. That particular series takes up the entirety of my right thigh as a tattoo. My tattoo is the map of Middle-earth, and I'm very proud of it. It turned out beautifully, and I would not change it for anything. If you guys have been on my Instagram at all, you have seen the tiny pictures of his offspring, his little bitty babies. And Princess Lulu's in the other room. She's currently feeding them, so. Hey guys, me again. Just a little cut-in. I wanted you guys to meet my super cute little bitty grand puppy. Look at how tiny he is. So this is one of two little bitty baby boys that we got on December 11/11 this year. And he is so cute and he is so precious and he is so sweet. His brother is in the other room. His brother's eating. Oh, stretches. Oh, stretches. Anyways, I just wanted you guys to be able to see and meet one of them because I haven't really posted a lot on Instagram like I expected. Oh yes, we're so sleepy. Mommy, Grandma woke us up and we're so sad. But anyways, I just wanted you guys to get a cute little glimpse of these guys, and I will see you guys in a second. I only got to show you the one, however, someday I will be able to show both of them to you. Anyways, that being said, welcome to my channel, you guys. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. We'd love to have you as part of my Redwood family. And that's about it as far as that goes. Click that little bell if you want to know when I post videos. I post typically one, possibly two videos a week right now. Anyways, today's video I'm really excited for. I don't know what came over me today. I got some inspiration from Hound Dog Hollow and Amethyst Ascensions. They have both done some really amazing tags over the last couple months. My first ever tag challenge that I ever did was the hashtag October Pagan YouTube Vlog Challenge. So the hashtag that I have come up with goes along with 22 questions, and if you guys feel drawn to doing this and actually doing these 22 questions, I would absolutely love to have some video responses. I would love to see what you guys have to say. I think as far as YouTube goes, these are my favorite challenges or my favorite kinds of videos because I really like to get to know other people. I like to hear the same questions from different people and different answers from different point of views. I think it's really interesting for me, especially as a baby witch. It makes it really fun to kind of explore all the different options and see how different people react to the same content. And it's been really fun for me to watch and really get to know some of the ladies that are here on YouTube and some of the guys that are here on YouTube through these hashtag challenges. And so I came up with 22 questions. The name is going to be hashtag behind my magic. So that being the case, I figured I would go over them. I'm also going to link all these questions down in the description below so you guys have the opportunity, if you so desire, if these resonate with you, go do it. Give me a VR. I want to know what you guys have to say. I think it would be really fun. Hashtag behind my magic. So this was the 22 questions that I came up with that I would love to answer myself, but I also really want to hear what other people have to say about these 22 topics. Number one is, are you a pagan, witch, wiccan, or other? So I identify personally as a pagan witch. Question number two, do you have a patron god or goddess? I do not. As of right now, I don't work with any kind of deity. Nothing wrong with working with deity. I just haven't reached the point in my path where I feel a desire to find a patron and or work with any kind of deity. So that being the case, I am working kind of in that direction. I'm doing a lot of studying mythologies. I found a lot of people that I think I resonate more or less with, and I'm starting to kind of get in the idea of their background and figuring out where our relationship could go based on that. And I'm doing a lot of studying into different mythologies and different pantheons, and that's kind of where I'm starting. But I don't have a patron and I haven't started working with deity yet. Number 3 is, what is your favorite tool of divination? My personal favorite tool of divination, because I'm so new to all of this, so far has been oracle cards and divination cards. I guess that could definitely include tarot, but I don't do a whole lot with tarot. So I would say oracle cards are probably my best foundation, and that's where I happen to like where I'm at the most right now. Question number 4, do you have a familiar, or have you ever had a familiar? I do not, and I have not. That is something that I would like to work in the direction towards getting a familiar. I have thought about potentially using one of either Frodo or Lulu as a familiar in training and just kind of give them the option and see if it works out. If not, I think I would really work better with a cat as far as a familiar goes. I've never really had the desire to have a cat, never wanted a cat, but I do feel drawn to cats a lot more now that I am a witch. And I've also thought about a hedgehog. I think a hedgehog would be the coolest familiar in the world. So working in that direction. However, I know that kind of falls into your lap when the time is right, and I've put it out into the universe that I want a familiar and nothing's come back to me yet. So that's that. Question number 5 is, do you believe in reincarnation? I do believe in reincarnation 100%. I've kind of talked about this in a previous video. My beliefs on death and reincarnation and everything all have to do with the soul. I personally believe that the soul is energy, and based in science and logically, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It simply changes forms within the universe. And so the soul being energy, I believe that our energy, our soul, our body stays here, our soul goes on and goes back into the universe. And I don't have any issues seeing that soul could either stay all together or be broken up into different things. So you could either go back into the earth and go back into the universe, or your soul could transcend and stay whole and go to a different lifetime or a different body and be a different creature or a different human or whatever the case may be. I personally think that that's a really beautiful way of viewing the world, and I do have a connection to certain things that make me feel as though I'm an old soul, and I have lived many lifetimes. I have very vivid dreams of different lifetimes, and I know that it's not me now, but it was me then, if that makes sense. So reincarnation is definitely something that I have 100% belief in, and I never have wavered on that. I've always been that way. Even in like a religious family, I believe more or less like, oh, well, when you die, like you keep your soul and your soul goes to heaven. So it's like being reborn, it's reincarnation in a way, right? So that was just kind of the way that I always viewed the world, and that's okay. Number 6 is, do you have a witch's name? If so, what is it? Obviously, my witch's name is Redwood Rain. My real name is Liv, or Livy. So when I first started this channel, I really didn't want anyone to know that I was practicing witchcraft. I was very scared to come out of the broom closet. And so I didn't want to have my name out there on the internet anywhere. So I created a separate Facebook account. I created a separate YouTube and a separate Instagram just for this channel, which is really good in general. Just that way I have a platform and I can kind of keep things separated. However, I'm not worried about people knowing my name anymore. So my name is Livy, my witch's name is Redwood Rain, and that just happened to resonate really, really well with me. Number 7 is, what element do you work most with? Currently, the element that I work most with, and the one that I resonate most with for the majority of my life, has been earth. I love the element of earth. It is my favorite. I personally have never had any issues with earth. And there's something about taking off your shoes and like touching the grass, or going into the forest and touching trees, climbing mountains. There's just something about being involved in nature and being part and surrounded by earth that gives me life. And then that's why this particular scene was the one that I got when I was looking for a tapestry. I wanted something foresty and something to ground me here in my witching space that reminded me of home, because the forest reminds me of home, and that's just who I am. Next question is number 8. What got you interested in witchcraft? What got me? Okay. My awakening and my spiritual story is not one that I have really gone over on my channel. However, I basically was more or less introduced to my teacher, my current teacher, my mentor, and me and her, I don't, so like I knew of her, I knew she was a witch. I had one other friend in high school who was a witch, but for the most part, I didn't really have any witch connections. And then I went to Italy in February, had my spiritual awakening, and was panicking. I did not know how to ground myself. I was so overwhelmed with all of the magic and the energy and everything, and it was not good. So at that point, one of my really good friends actually put me in contact with my current teacher, and I went over and I met her and we started talking about things, and I kind of fell off the wagon, decided that I really didn't want to be a witch, didn't want to have this be part of my life, and I put everything on, like I put a big pause button on everything and fought myself for another, I mean, probably 6 months, 4 to 6 months. At that point, I kind of broke down and said, you know what, please teach me. Please show me the ways of being a witch, because I need to learn how to control this energy and this feeling within me, because it's getting overwhelming and I don't know how to make it go away. So I didn't really want to be a witch initially, but I felt like I didn't have much of a choice at that point. I was very, very overwhelmed with everything that was happening in my life, and witchcraft just happened to be the outlet that I needed. And so I was introduced to witchcraft through a good friend of mine who introduced me to my teacher. Number 9, have you ever used an Ouija board? I have, and it was the biggest mistake of my entire life. I won't lie to you guys. So me and a couple of my friends in high school decided that we were going to be really stupid and we were going to go into a cemetery on Halloween completely high and play with an Ouija board. And whether anything was real, whether it was not, I don't care. I will never touch an Ouija board again in my entire life. It scared me so bad, and I do not like working with spirits through an Ouija board anymore because of that. I had a really bad experience that I will not go into detail about, and I will never touch an Ouija board again. So that is my story on Ouija. Never gonna happen again. I am done. Number 10, would you teach craft to your children? I would. If I was able to have a child, whether through means of adoption or the universe happened to send me a miracle and I was able to bear a child, I would absolutely teach them about craft. I wouldn't teach them craft until they were a little bit older. However, I would let them be completely open to all spiritual paths, including religion and Christianity. If that is what they desired, I would definitely let my kids pick for themselves what they wanted to do. I do not plan to raise children within a strict religious environment, but if that's something that they crave and that's something that they want, I'm not going to tell them no. And so as far as craft goes, I think after a certain point, a certain age, when they start to see like what I'm doing and who I am, and they're curious and they want to learn more, I would absolutely teach my kids. I would not shove it down their throats. I would not make them learn it. However, if they were interested and they wanted to, I would open that door and I would leave it open. I would let them learn with me and learn beside me. Number 11, do you or have you had a mentor or teacher? I do currently have a teacher. She's a beautiful, amazing woman. She's actually talking about possibly starting a YouTube channel. So if that gets to that point and she starts posting content, I will absolutely link her in everything. And so she's going to do kind of this like down to the very basics for baby beginner witches and break everything down in a super amazing way. She's kind of told me what she wants to do and where she wants to go with everything. And I think it's going to be really amazing. So when that comes and when that time gets here, I will absolutely let you guys know. Number 12, how do you reconnect when you feel out of touch with your practice or yourself? So my biggest thing is ritual bathing. I love water. I love ritual baths, whether it be an actual ritual bath with bubbles and the whole shebang in my tub or in my hot tub. I use my hot tub as a grounding method. I absolutely loved it. There's something about the hot water that just brings me straight back to where I am. It's amazing. So I use ritual baths to kind of come and find myself and become like more in touch with myself again. And like I said, ritual bathing is definitely the way that I do that. Number 13, do you have a dream journal? Absolutely. I have actually kept a dream journal for many years, long before I started my path into paganism and witchcraft. So that is that. Number 14, what is something witchy you want currently? I would love to expand my collection of crystal skulls. I absolutely love crystal skulls. I have been obsessed with them for so many years, and I didn't know that you can go to like metaphysical stores once in a while and buy them. So I bought this guy, this little tiny bitty guy right here, when I was on the Oregon coast from a fossil store, and fell in love with him, and now he needs a couple friends because he's the only one, and I really want to have so many more. And so I think that's the witchiest thing that I really need in my life right now, is more crystal skulls. 15, do you think it is important to know the history of paganism or witchcraft? I absolutely do. I am 100% firm believer in history can be repeated if we don't learn about it and we don't understand it. I don't care what you look at or anything like that. When it comes down to it, we need to learn our histories. We need to learn and understand history, because if we don't, we have a tendency to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. So I am a firm believer that if you are going to live this life, if you are going to practice witchcraft, if you're going to practice paganism, you should do some of the fundamental research into the basics and the history of it. I think it is very, very important. Number 16, do you think witchcraft has improved your life? Absolutely. I am 1,000 times happier than I was 6 months ago. My mental health is at an all-time high. I am no longer like in this rut that I had been in for many years. I am focusing more on my life and what I need in life, and I'm really breaking down some of the barriers that I had before and really changing who I am. And at first I hated the idea of change, but now I'm starting to really fall in love with change, and I'm a completely different person. I'm totally happy with where I am in life, and all of that started the second that I admitted to the world and admitted to myself that I was a witch and started actively pursuing this life. I am so much happier now, and paganism, witchcraft, whatever you want to call it, has 110% improved my life in every way. Number 17, do you believe in quote unquote fantasy creatures? I do, actually. I do believe that fae, unicorn, mermaid, dragon, all of them are based in mythology. And I am the kind of person that when you look at history, all mythology and all of those creatures have to be based on something that was real at one point or another, whether it is in this current day and age, in a different reality, in a different dimension, or just in the past they happen to be here. I am a firm believer that everything that is a quote unquote fantasy creature is based in some sort of truth and some sort of like their energy and everything. I think that you can connect with it and you can work with it like you could any other animal or creature if you so desire and you have that ability and you want to. I don't see why you can't work with those creatures. I think that they are very real, and I also am a firm believer in whatever you believe in and you put faith and effort into is something that you're going to get something out of, and that is a good and beautiful thing. So I don't really care what people practice with or work with or anything like that, because it's not my path. I personally haven't started working with anything like that, but I also haven't started working with deity, and deity is like the number one thing that everyone seems to work with. So I will get there eventually. I may or may not start working with those kind of things, but it's not where I'm at right now in my path, and that's okay. So number 18 was, how have you created your path? How is it unique? I am a firm believer that every single path is 100% unique and 100% different. My path is very different from even my two friends that I spend a lot of time with, and my teacher and my best friend. The three of us have been spending a lot of time together. We actually made our scrying mirrors finally. I am more aware now about how my path differs from other people and how my viewpoints differ from other people, which is part of the reason that I wanted to do this tag, because I really want to see other people's perspectives on these things. But my path is very unique to me because I'm a very unique individual and I'm a very interesting individual. So my path is a little bit interesting. Number 19, where is the most magical place you have ever been? For a very long time, I would have looked you dead in the face and said the Oregon Coast. The Oregon Coast is beautiful. It is gorgeous. It was my absolute favorite place in the entire world for my entire childhood. Like, anytime somebody asked me, where do you want to go? Where do you want to move? Where do you want to live? Oregon Coast, 100%. Every single time. There's something about the trees and the sand and all of it being so close together, and the rain. Oh my gosh, I am a rain witch, 100%. And so Oregon Coast was probably my answer for most of my life. And then I went to Italy, and in Europe, in Rome and Italy, in that particular area, you could physically feel the magic in the air. You could feel that energy, and it was so intense and so overwhelming at the point I didn't know what to do, and I couldn't get rid of that feeling after I came home for weeks, because I was so supercharged by all of the stonework, all of the art, all of the history, everything. It just was so overwhelming and so beautiful. And ever since then, I don't think that I could say, I haven't done enough traveling to really say that anywhere else is, but I would definitely say the most magical place I've ever been was Rome, Italy. That or Lucca, Italy, out in the Tuscan countryside. It was beautiful. Anyways, number 20. So this one's kind of a fun one. Favorite color and why. My favorite color is yellow. Ironically, I look really bad in yellow because it makes me it washes me out really bad because I'm really pale. And so I try not to wear any kind of yellow. However, yellow's been my favorite color since I was a kid. There was just something about, my favorite color was like sunflowers, you know? I've always loved sunflowers, and so I've always been kind of everybody's little sunflower. My favorite color was always yellow. So anyways, that's that. Number 21, do you wear pagan jewelry in public? I actually don't wear any jewelry in public. I sometimes in my videos will wear necklaces or earrings or something, but it's very, very temporary. I am allergic to every single metal that I have ever tried, including gold and silver, minus titanium. And I haven't been able to find a lot of people that just give out or sell titanium jewelry. And so I have a really hard time finding jewelry that I can wear for more than 15 to 20 minutes before breaking out into a rash. So that being the case, that's also why I've never gotten the Witch's Bounty from the Witch's Moon / Witch's Roots. I would love to try their Witch's Bounty, but it's a jewelry based box and I can't wear jewelry, so it's kind of a waste of money. What is your favorite thing about being a witch? My absolute favorite thing about being a witch is this pagan community. I am so fond of every single one of you, whether it be my pagan community here at home that I actually get to go spend physical time with, between my best friend and my teacher and the girls and everybody. I absolutely love them, and I also love this pagan community online. I love learning from everybody. I love the support and the sense of family and the sense of community that all of us have for each other. It's just, there's so much love, and it's my absolute favorite thing about being a witch so far. I would never change anything about any of you. I am so grateful to have you as part of my life. And there's just something about this community that makes you want to come back and makes you want to learn more, because it's not a bunch of scary people that hide in basements and throw frogs into cauldrons and drink kids' blood and like all of these crazy things that you see in movies. There's the pagan community that I've met are literally the most loving and giving people that I have ever met in my entire life. And I'm so grateful to have every single one of you in my life. And with that, I'm going to end this challenge. Like I said, I'm going to post this as #BehindMyMagic. If you guys resonated with any of these questions, all of these questions, I really want to hear your guys' perspective and to see where this goes, because this community, this online YouTube community, all of you, you are my loves, you are my family, you are my friends, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you. And if you guys aren't part of this family yet, if you haven't clicked that subscribe button, go ahead and do so. And as soon as I reach 100 followers, I will do a giveaway. I have got so many things planned for that giveaway, but as soon as I reach that lucky little 100, that's when I'm going to do that. So that being the case, behind my magic, I love you guys so much. Thank you again for coming and watching this crazy video. I know it's a little bit long, but 22 questions is a lot, especially with distractions like dogs and puppies and all of the things. So I love you guys. Thank you again, and we'll see you in the next video.